Alright, welcome to this lesson where we're going to talk about how you should describe your character. There's no one right way to do that, but unfortunately when you say that, oh, there's no one right way to do that, that can be very frustrating because someone says, okay, but can you show me a way to do that, even if there's no one right way. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Now the description of the character is this part right here that's in teal colored. In your character sheet, you may be wondering, how do I do that? What kind of information should I add? What's important? Well, let's just go over the basics. To get a consistent character, you want to have face, body, and skin. For skin color, you want to describe it multiple times throughout the prompt, and you want to add the over and undertone. So if you don't know what over and undertone is, don't worry about it. You have, for example, pale olive skin, dark brown, golden brown. Brown would be the overtone, golden would be the undertone. For deep bluish black, black is the overtone, bluish is the undertone. You also have, golden pale or olive pale versus pinkish pale, olive brown, dark brown. All of the kind of modifiers of the main color, whether that's brown, pale, black, olive. Well, olive is more of an overtone, but, tan, like tan olive skin or tan reddish brown skin, reddish is excuse me, I'm getting tripped up too, so don't worry if you get tripped up, but the overtone is basically the color like brown, tan, black, pale, white, and then the undertone would be things like olive, pinkish, dark, golden brown, reddish brown, bluish black. Those are the undertones. And we were going to cover this in much greater depth in our skin color module. And for getting consistent characters, I would recommend not having any moles, birthmarks, freckles, or tattoos, because you can always add these later in Procreate or Photoshop. Even if you're not that great an artist, it's not too difficult. But if you add these things in Midjourney, they will be a pain to edit or correct later on. Especially for tattoos, trust me on that. You do not want to have tattoos. Those are going to change from generation to generation. Just leave it out while you're using Midjourney. Now, unfortunately for vitiligo, I would not, if your character has vitiligo, that's totally fine, but I would add that after you've generated the images. Midjourney does not seem to know what vitiligo is at all. If you don't know what it is, that's fine. It's basically this skin condition that this young woman has over here, where parts of your skin will not have melanin, and those parts and those spots can change over time. And anybody of any race can get vitiligo. There are white people with vitiligo. There's black people with vitiligo. Famous vitiligo sufferer is Michael Jackson. You can see some of the older pictures of him. He'll have a couple of white spots on his fingers. And it's more noticeable if you have dark skin. So if you have a character who has this condition, that is totally fine, but my suggestion is to create the character with their whatever skin tone is like the non-vitiligo skin tone, and then edit it later with Procreate or Photoshop. So if you were going to generate an image of this woman, you would probably say a woman, black woman or African American woman or Afro-Caribbean, whatever her background is, and then you would add the vitiligo spots afterwards. Okay, so for hair, I would start simple with texture and color, maybe texture, color, and length. So this is our image of Lisa Jones. We've got curly red gold hair. Once you have something you like, you can add length, style, and other details. Try maintaining the same seed throughout. And there is a balancing act between too much and not enough detail. But if you want to start, just start with texture and color and then add length. For clothing, keep things as simple as you possibly can. Try to have solid colors only, no patterns, because these can change from one generation to the next. You can always add patterns later. And I would say if you want a full body image, describe the shoes that the character's wearing, because this makes it more likely the image will include the character's full body. And for jewelry, jewelry is very difficult to get consistent from one generation to the next. Avoid jewelry unless it is absolutely essential to the character, and even then, maybe not. Maybe it's better to add it later on. Yeah, jewelry is like tattoos. It will change a lot from generation to generation. And you can avoid jewelry by using the dash dash no parameter for a negative prompt. This couldn't change the image composition, but that's how it is. You can always also use a negatively weighted prompt. Remember, we learned about prompt weights. So we've got earrings and necklaces, double colon, negative 0.3. So again, we've got this whole character sheet for Noor, who is an Afro-Arab girl, dark skin with olive undertones, gray shirt, black jeans, black boots, curly black hair, and then we've got all this description of the art style, and we've got a double colon, and we've got earrings, necklaces, colon, colon, negative 0.3 to make it so that it's just her in the outfit without the jewelry. So my advice is to avoid jewelry, add it later on, unless you can really get it consistent, which sometimes you can. So adding reference images, I think this arrow is supposed to be up here pointing at this, but be that as it may, do not add image prompts until after you get a basic character sheet that you like. Then you can use very subtle and add the reference image URLs to change it. Otherwise, including an image reference early on can mess up your character sheet composition. This one, I think we had a portrait of Noor, like a face portrait, and so we got this weird image. Now this isn't too bad. You could use zoom or pan to make this a nice image of her, but this is not going to work for a character sheet. So, all right, so here's your assignment, is basically to make another character sheet and try to make the clothing as simple as possible and follow everything we've said in this lesson. Sorry, guys, I have a bit of a sore throat, but we're going to keep on. We're pretty much at the halfway point. So I'll see you guys in the next video. All right. Bye.